after college, I started dating someone, and she was fantastic, and that didn't mean that we had sex, which was still fine. And I went away to Boston, and she was still living in Philly, and suddenly she's living with a guy, and I'm like, I don't understand. I thought we were together. And she says, no, he, was really cool, and he decided to move in. I don't know how that goes. I feel like my stories have a theme here, which is not good. I swear to God, my sex life has gotten so much better since then. So finally, I come back, and there's a wedding that's happening, and I come back, and I run into her on the street, and she was like, oh my God, I was wrong. You were the right answer, not him. And I was like, that's great, except you have this guy living with you right now. And so she's like, no, I can fix it. So she comes up to Boston, and she visits me, but she won't sleep with me. She'll do everything, like, all the things that you can imagine except the actual sex part, which was great, except it wasn't actually the sex part. And finally I come back, and she's like, we did all this stuff. You're supposed to be okay because I did all that. And I was like, no, you need to get him out of your apartment. Finally, she gets him out of her apartment. I come back and visit, and finally I'm thinking, this is it. I'm like 23 years old. It's about freaking time. And she's like, do you have a condom? I'm a loser. I say no. We do everything but, and that's how it goes. She flies up to Boston. I had, of course, bought some condoms at this point, but it didn't seem to matter. And finally, I fly back to Philadelphia. I have a pack of condoms in my hand, and she comes out in the sexiest thing I've ever seen a woman wear. Now, granted, all it was a thong and a tank top, but I hadn't had sex. I was 23, but I did, and it was amazing. But it's gotten a lot better since then.
To celebrate my last night in Michigan, I decided to lose my virginity. I was also old. I was 22, and I still hadn't had sex, mostly because I was saving myself for Harrison Ford. Anyway, I started dating this guy named Jay. I'm talking fast because we don't have time. And anyway, I actually did decide to date him, and it was my last night in Michigan before I was moving to go to grad school, and I was like, tonight is the night, we're going to do it. It's going to be like the scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark between Harrison Ford and Karen Allen, and I'm going to like sweep his fedora off, and we're going to have sex. It's going to be awesome. So I get to his house, and we're making out, and everything's going, fairly well. It's not new territory. He's already seen my boobs. But when I lift up his shirt, I realize that he has a lot of back hair. Like, a lot. And I don't know what you're supposed to do. I don't know if you're supposed to touch it or not touch it. Like, do I run my fingers through it and act like I'm into it? And he goes, yeah, I know I have a lot of back hair. And I said the only thing I could think of, which is, have you tried shaving it? And he pulls my shirt off and he goes, your boobs are really symmetrical. And I'm like, thanks. And finally, we reached the point where he kind of takes I take his penis out from beneath the sweatpants, like you do. And I want to savor this moment because I've never seen a real penis before. And I've seen a lot of porn, a lot. But I always skip the blowjob because it's boring for women. I don't have time. Let's skip ahead 5 minutes to the sex. I'm not interested in watching those. But as I'm staring at it, I realize that, I don't know what to do. Because I skipped the blowjob, so I don't really know how it goes. And he says, trying to be helpful, pull it. And all I can think of is, the children's toy, the bop it, bop it, twist it, pull it. So I pulled it. It didn't go well. We did not have sex that night. Thank you.